Yeah, National Cathedral, yeah, see National Cathedral after $58 million. Now, Lipa Bigrebu as far as the National Cathedral. Now, Adiana, 3 days to the election. 3 days to the election. Yet to petrol. Yet to petrol. And yes, sir. And yes, sir. 3 days. Maybe tea and I can say, Omobua. Mr. How? Young, see about 3 days to the election. You got to petrol. Hey, you can say winning and I say you can say. Now, driver for a boy 3 days. And Omoko to Abano. 80 Abaya for 2 years. A before Abana Nipatui. And yes, sir. Before Abana Nipatui. 80 na Yaka say, Yabe share. She share Okwe committee no. Okwe committee no so Omaye Omwejuma Ewie said the General Secretary a boss no. Omako constituency bia ewo Ghana na omwa produce omo report. Dia me de no say Okwe committee report no I bet say there is no religious factor in the 2024 election. Now, and then it is not a factor at all. And number 2, there is no tribal factor in the 20.
Udidia and your financial because you have to pay. No. I mean, you know the Ken's approach.
Yeah.
What the Bema say flexible loans, Mamudia says a munumu, or so be decentralizing ministries. For instance, a ministry like trade and industry. Ebetimi Abba Asante region, of course, coupled with other 2-3 ministries. Now Abba, then it gets the ministries leadership very closer to the people. What I say now, one more it say be a dready any adento to any other betimi Abuama any other. Why Ken has been able to state this clearly. Obey decentralizing ministries or say our real strong at the Kriayo and Omayabia Mpuntum. Wakase or better the northern part of the country into the food hub of Africa. What's the way idea? Or say tourism, there is a link, the link between tourism and socio-economic transformation. Our real announcing kita hundie strong at that tourism and your mind be a that in your mind be a the FAPMU. Those are the things it's coming to exploit. Say you 2 bunch raw, there be any other name for being to me Casa a start, other name for being intimate produce ethanol. Casapreco, one person alone to me import to about $2 billion of ethanol. Ako huya yanomi at the backroom ha. They invest in Ako now I'm afraid what you say. To invest in even ethanol production alone, need to export to $10 billion, $20 billion of ethanol. Cigar than a deba. And ya hot on new money, BTV, a baby. Obiakawi Obiso at the end of the year, a slogan of rich ideas, 2 months to lesson, there has not been a single idea. Yet, a sentiment, and 24 quarter of Mount to my day. And Nasebio, the record of the 2 personalities, the 2 leading candidates is also there. Let's go into their track record. A DNA in their private life, one more team achieve. Rich ideas. They've been in the helm of affairs for the past 16 years, and these are 8 years as an opposition leader, and also 8 years as a vice presidential candidate. Wow, Polugu down. What was the outcome of it? Now, quite party assembly. The benefits say basa kwese base paniku na aire ahabai etase ne banyansa fom. But beyond the rich ideas so when your candidate or man for the credibility is the candidate or you're both marketable and visible. Eya no mo yom so asimesi na obintin de marketable no. Ubetima ko dwom ntosu go ho on the first place pa ma me no ton tosu o first spot no. The ntosu ne yemoboye once na boss obi anya de enter. The person is visible, but unacceptable. But in the case of Ken, over the track record and then the character trait, the Numa will be any also be human. Obitimakacho say, Ashanti still on be the biggest steel plant in Africa. Or no Bitimakacho say, at Junipaco store, at the Paco store, or I think there is also another one, the biggest one in West Africa, and also one of the coastal, Mekaidi na Alabama, and or Tim Starch, and the media groupings are a war or mine two pneumonia. Well, beyond that, no crano in Accra alone, or run a real estate company of about 277 houses. What they find say, oh, one cleaner, one security. And the be a war nipa or gardener or what, and yet 3 multiplied by 277. How many jobs nipa acquired a create? Recently, in the rubber factory alone, a cater for said 360 people. A more 300 free nipa no so rich ideas in the group. How do you compare these two? So be say why you see, or this is the track record. Also, oh, the Omeka track record be a now say oh dear Nyamema unim de bia oh the drain now oh drain. What is there to show? Sebio. You've been there for the past 8 years. Into your home day, and then you bet my eye. Within the past 8 years, and the rich ideas burn what they buy. Now, no, I don't see ideas of mobile money, and the mobile money, no, or the recruit to 800,000 workers. Busa Hon says, Mahapa, Nebayibi, and I know fast baby, and I knew baby. Mobile money interoperability. The burn I walk send his car, vendor not only to me send a Vodafone to MTN now. Those are the interoperability works on individual basis for us in terms of its practicality. No? Interoperability be no alcohol vendor why you use interoperability now. But one person lays a claim say online into will recruit to 800,000 people. And that the same person now no Napco Feli or Nasi. Into what kind rich ideas? I don't get it. In any event, so rich ideas are no matter how rich those ideas are, and so we need political power. The ideas become obsolete. And for so be any so. Men are not broke with this. I wrote yes. If you have a quan in passing, say be our call ye a day free in passing. Obershono. Now, who say, it be a bunch of ha. A book not prod and panas, baby, our cotton womb. Ube easy kind of whom fin to. Because you name the eye. Because you are not access and demand and you're requiring the MP. So, a political power. No matter how rich ideas will be, so where you will be a bit magic to me, our ideas and them. We are presenting a candidate, and your ideas and Kwan or sell it. We are tired of the ideas. One and you're tired of the ideas. Krumha, Galamsey, you can say Kwan never for so Galamsey. Take your phone, go to Google, go to AI. The business of Kwan never for so fighting Galamsey. He will give you 1,001 ideas. Our problems has been systemic. A problem is a day. Unemployment. What is the data saying? The data national service it takes a minimum of 10 years for half of that batch to get permanent employment. Our problems are always there. Problems, issues with your transport, your transportation, your bad, your healthcare, your bad, enforcement issue, your bad. Into the ideas, the solutions near the solve, they are always there. In here nipa bia as one of the ono person chese nyamia man adwen fufuro bia ono no de be the best of those problems. What we need is not ideas. What we need is pragmatic solutions and implementation. And that implementation has to do with the will and the den and the discipline to do it. Omaya team lanku said edru a year offend say edru traffic light asia so red ko yede otwam police need na ko yede ochia no my team nipa take care mu obi yi enwura to forma. Nobody talks about it. Speed limit 80 one edi soda do you need ideas to solve them? You don't need ideas. You need pragmatism. The ideas are already there. The laws are there. Normal what is left is enforcement. Pragmatism. That bold and courageous leadership. Leader or no na kwara ya di otimi hwe nsade a wo ye enye anase we ye dey obetima hwe e de pepepe ya to ba bia ye dey eda enye se bia obiti se bia efa se bia contest de bia bronya no mu di rough na hontimi nka. How do you then have that balls to say we be make it tough decisions? So we don't need rich ideas.
Bronya na babon jaka se Bawumia has no authority whatsoever over him because ordinary and all ye na there. So why will you include an answer for the Abronya Yamana?
If Frebi be command responsibility, what I say. Nana Sante he and Namwe. So Nana him for Nibi or no monam, Elko Jabase, Abibia, Nasebi, Debi also Mike so. No di or Hini atem, no di president atem, no di asofu atem, no di Ghana Peninfa tema. Sanana Sante Hine and also a Pamos and Pacone finishing, safe in a community when on day and Antibio. That is the trademark of every great leader. A trademark of every great leader, you take up responsibility. Yeah, and Chairmas are here no moment can say, oh, Santa Hindi, I mean, in a quay, yes, a quack, a bad, a mayor on fast, or no, as a minute. What were you expected, Sabronia Babakaze? Hey, well, we are abused to the hour, so on the way another. Was that what we were expecting? No, clearly no. But the beauty of now, let me compare the two leaders. I've been a friend at Lestete. Well, before I Lestete crowd, but I could be very public. Might be a friend of Kwadra na answer why. Okay, no one can hear program be or mine. Aye. Now, I saw so for fake pastors expose ya no more. And now, man, no could did Dr. Bawumia them. The following day, Ken Saken say on the Dr. Bawumia relationship are completely different. And on the relationship as also an employer-employee relationship, they're different. Or staying within the cycles. That is leadership. You are able to take tough decisions even against your own people. Now, and you stand the ultimate beneficiary of their oil. Now, I can say, what they are brought here, or me for be as a message. Is that leadership? Don't do that. So we are able to, and your friends say, be a seminary, no kind of kissing any action because I did away any day. Achia. What trainers are hasi and find that and toward the 2 a bed, a be frato. Now I'll be Jenny Pawko, any Pawko say, and never who for the Diana atem, but who for the Duke of Fatem, but who for the D Kennedy Japon atem, but who for the D Duncan Williams atem, or started with Kennedy Japon. Who Suswampa say, so into a started Kennedy Japon, so not penny be catchers or penny, the wee. Me no one antibio. Oh yes, so say kebedu Duncan Williams so. Eso akwa. And now no more Santene mame e to for mani e krenechi. Okocha Santene obi a ohwe TV ni bia hu se papa ne bon ani ye dai e kire no se oye ohen oye pani won kasa badwam but obe kire se menua bra from kakra ade kire no be so camera e kudi di so for pani ba kwa ye dai atem. And you are telling me say that's a penny be any who bet my atiana so penny there we.
That's executive that crowd friend no crown. He still doesn't or still or coso and or the executive of the party na crown or do my year.
In that case you distance yourself. Adia chenya why the following week no one call sampa. Oh yes, so could upon atema. The delegates demonstrated how discerning they were. I want more born in tutu. Udi kene Japan atema one born in tutu no. One first person kwachi ara. Don't talk about kwachi ara. And how do you convince? You see, me jurisprudence was school. Gimpa had a mechrade. Now jurisprudence a human philosophy. Obecho say nipa entity any nipa abodi and yame boy. We are rational people. We are able to reason. Into me a man say the hair question. Nipa into me and place reason on it who say adi equi a benefit we any person messing or can around a we can pretend we are able to reason.
I wish you had time. Quebec was so bad, but
Mr. Amo was so time.
That's
our chairman. I will just say,
I should say, as time progresses, before I'm better, and definitely will pass.
Yes.
We have more to talk about.
That's a power, Mr. Amo also has also, and Bruno also tells a man upon a cry. A mammy. Also, me paying for the center, some commoners, and I'm a poor mature answer. Right. My mother, the Fakwaba, now. Afe Shase omunyina ba bedru enti mamema makwaba Mr. Joseph Amwa senior member edema United Party Plus UP Plus ono ewa ha Dr. Kesken osebuku eso ewa ha oba communication any MPP Asante Mantem ha omunsine from kra doc good evening
good evening
na boko de
Nyamiadom.
Nyamiasi.
Also hoye.
Me pa. Zama.
Yeah.
Me ye no na chese wani abere wa chiro nti mama akwaba. Na boko de.
Nyamiadom boko.
Nyamiasi pa. Na
ke obi ana mesro say ana wache be 2 minutes bi.
Sao.
Na me dey clarify one or two things we are having discussions. Babi tima cha champion.
Mema aye ora ahia. Enso akwaba. Na ono so oba NDC Asante Mantem ha wo mu sini fon kura mpacho ndi eji so on net wono
ana so
ko konsan yo de papa
bisa musa mwasha
ko konsan yo de
akwa
na
boko de
nyameti ase mo de mu afusane
de nyame ase pa na me amenua Dr. Barnabas
amafo ko konsan
KOD
doc
KOD
na boko de
nyame adaroma
ho anu mani aji
KOD se menua ni
anyway mama sha sem free Dr. Kesken ho na mintie no so to me man 2 minutes no na
regarding a year and similar na menua Kwasi kano ebi on ma a campaign I'll grant it maybe on ma as a party person me gidi say kasana nkoyi The first one, no can say, but say Bawumia say or the ideas now say interoperability are creating Numa. Na the babe nebi. Baby say Numa Ora Kennedy is what creating the constituency. The babe nebi on constituency.
Okay.
It wasn't respectful.
Yeah.
What you say?
Yeah.
Ebu mo so any day. One say Kennedy Japan run home kuntokada. Rollins one was run home kuntokada. What the politics I say? Now what the times and seasons now say? Anytime I base a charged via no, they able to protect the ballot.
Yeah.
Me say Obama be president no, yes will be any thing. Orakofo once a kofo jambonti yida.
Say one who so share for nipada.
Exactly. And now o share buy koto ya elusu na. Obi a ogina galamsey so e to MPP no. And okoto aba meje say na bato no be sesa. Obi a ogina boku conflict so e de to abeti MPP na okoto aba e be sesa. What you say? Ebio also ideas. I believe say ideas and part if your ideas as an implementation. Ora Nkrumah you born about so pa Kwame Nkrumah they no the bad ideas na the bad. And now we in fan say we na wuska. Yeah, taxes I would have been two ideas are being implemented. What you be manage taxes now? Bet no man akoso. They be so I see here national development plan. National development plan then.
Ideas.
Yeah, ideas. So a pragmatic solution, I say, oh, in here ideas, in here pragmatic solutions. I'm like, me as a policy person, it's just semantics. Just until you can I say. It's the same thing now in a different way.
Anyway.
So the Biadam of Banukuta, a great transformational plan.
Ideas.
And ideas. So what are you talking about?
Anyway.
It will be our politics, no, and part Uraken. And so Sefata as a party person. Bawumia Sefata. Brane Champion Sefata. Kwabna Eje Japan Sefata. Aduchum as Sefata. Oja say, but yan share kasa no ebi. Ye kasa ni bi. Because in small Kenya, if you have to flip all these things backwards. Ora Kennedy, no a board chairman or Ghana Gas. Ideas, pragmatic solutions, burning a burn or the bar or transforming Ghana Gas. So we should be careful. We should be careful.
You have the party at heart. Thank you very much.
We should be careful.
Anyway, me nzumi ina fe yenin komo no eyi na yenka ensamo and there was say yedi ho komo. Budget no yenyen wiye yeda so wurem na yedi enkomo no dodo na de afa ho. Ene my concentration ebewo tax reforms any revenue mobilization eho ena mede my drink na say yede yenkasa yendo do na ebesie na mame moboso kakra na yenhwe ensemo a enei the finance minister ebaye wode ebetudwa efa eye tax reforms no ho na mebuboso asei enetie a comprehensive package of value added tax reforms. Now, the attorney said there is the repeal of the COVID-19 health recovery levy and the coupling of Get Fund and NHIL levy. Now, Oko Ehona say VAT na nkasano said the worker no repeal we anache say you better so by 1.9%. First now 21.9%. And they test one about 20% and increase in VAT registration threshold from 200,000 to 750,000 and also a idea and no ABPM the repeal of the VAT on mineral exploration and reconnaissance and also extension of zero rated VAT on local manufactured textiles until December 2028 nanka omo eba amnesty to 2025 in December NNA oma sign edi ebiabeka say enkonkodi 2028 reform on Income Tax Act to address inconsistencies, simplify the law and align with global standards. And also, the omo ediabase nei income tax no omo ba betrim na afei akwa kokata amanfo a menim say informal sector no enyina eba be rem eno eho ensem ewo hanum say implementation of independent tax appeals board. And no and summer or more ede etudwa eka ho afei reforms of custom act to align with international standards, simplifying border procedures, reduce clearance time and compliance costs, and strengthen Ghana's competitiveness ɛno ɛyɛ border no ho ɛho ɛnsɛnsɛm sɛ amanfoɔ ɛtumi fa kwati kwan so okɔ port no kora na ɔmo kyɛn sɛ bi ɔha nneɛma na ɔmo bɛkraba no ɛnyɛ ho duties and the taxes and the omutua and they omo at the machines and chroniba eba ebeboa na etimi addresses and yamanum afei reform of excise duty act to harmonize street broadened the tax base and promote public health, environmental sustainability and fiscal responsibility, including expanding coverage to carbon intensive goods, plastics and sugary beverages. We also a taxes ne ebi ebeka one more year anonie ya and sicheni nema wo mu no afei plastic products and croneba no ehon so ombehwe ho esem na omo edi edwuma no. Na the question that is on board this evening and it said enei so maybe one thing that helps the country to progress our tax system. Now COVID-19 tax is being taken away averagely on and I say annually. The COVID-19 tax give us around 3.7 billion Ghana cedis and no echo. Now, share the percentage ye free so about 1.9% no to the ordinary Ghanaian. Will we feel the impact? Say yes, no edi free one now. Once again, measure stay free a year or Russia because na buy na wo na send a party na wa buy mo. Nti ma measure say emfa free no na mintie no.
Kodi medase na memfa enjia mabusuafo ne yananum a ehia wa ha anwumre ne omo hwe ne omo tie nyina nso ehia wo mo ye da nyame asese wadom ye nkwane ahode na emoja edi emu afurusane se sene odi kan no Ghana photo samfo mi ankasa menua ato force in doctor or the Ghana akonhoma boss sika ye friend no budget no aba betudwa mrebe se enan a ekonomu ni na yesi afine wo so na ya yedie enti en ho nkomo na America kra yedie em se da me ba programs wo the punch no yedi bi ho nkomo and then so udi bi agu nsani ani se ye no so ni engo so no ni enhwe ba bi a yede befa enti ye ni gisem se yetua enkomodie ni so KOD oman economy ye ka no etise nipadua edrum bia ye ko hospital a ye say ye ko hwe ye blood pressure e was through ana e wo form sugar level e was through ana e wo form ene nyo make ka ho bebre se ne nipadua ne te sa na economy no etie enti akonhoma sika ye afimpim yenu ne aduonu nsia 2026 dia aban foto samfo dia aba no eno na se Ghana economy ne nipadua yede be ho bra ama ya hwese bibia betumi aye kama ede amayen enti ade ba ko nso editu na ma wo ma bia ho eye eto ayeje ani dwumadi a yede eto ni die budget ne eye tiawa eye sika ayeje eni kwan be fa so ebe sika na ayaje ni nchire mu tiawa eno no eye income ne expenditure na except say yede bibi na etu sa na amount na policy ne nso eto aso enti NDC aban His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ye nimpefe baby e pese de Ghana eko because KOD ye wo susudua mako be se aduonu nsia 26 ya ye de hwe economy bia ahoden se ne amese nka ye nipa ye ni BP ene ne ho keka ho no ba ko ehia wo mpa ye de hwe no primary balance ye kan primary balance no a ye hwe oman bia sika awunya ene dodo awudie na yayi wa bobisi a ensihu a wo so tua de friend interest payment in Afrium de beka no positive I say surplus negative na negative bra Dramani Mahama ne ndisi aban eba titire free December 2024 aban no eba ndisi aban no na eba beba no na primary surplus a MPP aban no edijaye no na negative 3.5%. na chere MPP aban na Bawumia ne Akufo-Addo eda no sika ebeka aban ni nsa no odi ma ne broso ama ekosenefa negative 3.5%.
Yeah, surplus or mujaye
no negative negative surplus negative
3.5%.
yes edi yesika ne edi ama ne broso di nya no wo de wa dwumadi adidi na akɔbro nsika enya ne so kɔ yi interest payment free mu se na medi kan kyerɛkyerɛ mu no a nti ye 2025 budget no ye de ani kan kyerɛ se ye bɛhwɛ se ye primary balance no ye betumi enya 1.5% positive this time enye negative positive
benya mfaso
ye benya mfaso nti by November ye be budget free no na ye primary balance no ye nya 1.6%. That is ba kumba ba be de akyire na akyire pepe se o man sika de e ba ye ho no ne se ne ayedi no ye de ani aka nche se ye ni ma ne mmoro so ne mo me be krakra ma aboa Ghana man
ubusa ayana MP for no busa question say if that was the case mo baye no so the ska munya e de bo aban ho brands na mo read mo budget no then na hifa ena mo kofa asaska no e free
say ye ba ye nya totua aban no sha ase Ghana fo ye nya totua
okay ti anu no kakra na mo boaboa no
na wonim say the friend open market operations se bia aban to treasury bills no kakra so aban ye nya ye
okay
because oni me be ya adwen say NDC aban we ba ye no bosume du baako ni bosume du mu aye we aban no mo be sia mfiri ama no ne da sika ede bo man ho bra nyina ye sika NDC aban ne joma ma ofa firi Ghana ha ya
ti de omo kase omo ja about 3 million wo aye some accounts mo sinking fund and some accounts nyana mo ba mo hu bibia sa
o ma nya sika bia o sinking fund dim
all right
o ma nya sika bia o ba bia
okay
enchirichiri mu bi be ho achire
for the sake of my listeners enti na pese yet sane man.
Is the reason I like these discussions enchirichiri mu bi ho ha me de beba
all right
menim say duru keskins so be pre ne ho aka
mpacho mu ya so onye nduru no ho
oh no me say me do ni tumi na me say to mu na ba so let me move on let me move on let me move on endi no me ka ma no ne
asama no ne
me ka oh
na domestically so wan kan ho asa
na me ka be say amanone na no na me kan keskins na me ka say aban na floatu me ka say aban no de or float to treasury bills ya besia aban ebo won ko for say me ka obi anan so obi market operations ya besia
oh da bunya nteme me sim be so clear we
so but I mentioned obi market operations me ka obi market operations and I wan ka besia ni ntra I'm speaking economics
e ba mo no ne de ne o ka no twi ma ko ye nkobo be so amano ene ba
o da bi le na say o ka no brofo na say me na mani maduani na midu na ba kire to ma nta dabi o kan say enye so keodi ye to na mo say o man sika sembe gina yie na bibia aye kama mi gina eto ti say de na o kan no taxes ni so won say ya kan say ne o kan ye no COVID-19 recovery levy na ababe kan na ababe she VAT nim ye campaign 2024 ne ka say ba ye be yi sa to no afri ho o kaya ye kan 2025 budget na ye nyi sa to no afri ho no MPP for boy ye ji sa de ne ba ye nyi ne ye ka chom say e wo se ye tu ana mo ye nhihye bi a e be boa ya miehu ana mo ayi ntu ansa ne ye yi eje anya beduru ene sa to no afri ho firi a efiri ho no ne se ene se obi ko toka firi abrochiri ba no hwe bill no a ye de man no in terms of tax no a every January aircon say you pass appropriation bill and you amend VAT act no a who COVID-19 recovery levy was subio wo hwe ni nyina mu o mo eye business no mo be say 3.7 billion Ghana cedis aguombotom o ye introduction o kan eno kan ho obi be ka say a loss of revenue to the state wo mo ka say na e ba atuo mo e say o me mercantilist wo mo hu ni say eto no je se chenchine be di aban sem ansa na aboa aban but aban so no se kodi Ghana ni botomu a eno se ade a ebeboa enti ene ye one reform a ye de aba COVID-19 health recovery levy no ke we de ye ade a se na ye kan ye no ye yi eno ade afri ho ena obeka ya MPP aban ni ba ye no national health insurance levy ena there's another levy account get fund first pa no na enka nimi enu nyina bom a ne ka VAT no omo ba no omo de bibi ba ya omo frɛ no decoupling omo beti nimi enu ntem omo beti nimi enu ntem no de how ba businesses for ntem how we de ba ya ne say na emma businesses entumi nya de ye frɛ no input levy no and I say input tax no back. On says obi ye business na okra nioma ebi a raw materials a odi ye na adwuma no eno no otua tax e wo so mba cho so ate ase ena wo wie nso na opeso oton nioma no nso a eno nso osan enkofo oton nioma no so no osan tua tax e ma om se wanyi ni input levy na mfiri mu a na wa suffer from the friend no double taxation enti decoupling no a MPP for the buy ya almost separately get fund from national health insurance levy no yes eno no ye free ho mba cho so ate ase yes an ka ni nyina bom se ne be ya businesses wo mo benya the friend no input tax no ye betumi asan tua wo mo no asan e de ahye wo mo businesses eno nso ye sika e ba na ba be boa omo a omo di dwa se ne be ya wo mo so e benya kakra de aka sika omo ye friend say edi di dwa no ho main frame no e ho ma VAT no eno so o kan ye hwe aso from 21.9% about 20%. Ebinum aka say enka ye 10% ya enka ye. But you see eto na ye de ba na ye nyoma mienu. Ye hwe sika e benya de abo oman hu bra ene de ye be yusu. Ntu kaya as part of the commentary aminu atofo sin on man. Wa kire ma kire Ghana for say 20% VAT rate no. Obehwe senior A2 na monko even up to mid-year. Senior performance no nya dia ehwe ni a obehwe so aba from senior be ya ebema nipa bebre ayde etimi atua bi because ebinimu asaje say enga wo say 10% but e 10% a anhwe anasika na aban ehia no na wanya because KOD o kan budget no a aban di nani akanche say sika opese wodi bo oman hu bra nyina afia ewe yanim 2026 no eye 302 billion Ghana cedis the friend expenditure no ena the ordinary country say obenya no so be ba ban ho revenue no eno say 268 million Ghana cedis and one say between 302 billion Ghana cedis and 268 billion Ghana cedis there's a shortfall eno no bi e be ye besia aban be bo afri oman mu because minister of finance akase ye ntubiri kan kwa amanone enkobo besia bio sisia because of that ordinary be hwese ne VAT no anamo a ebetu ene de be ya nsana bibibu wo ho a ordinary be kanche a ye frɛ ne sɛ ordinary atimi akanche na otimi atu anamo for industry there's a very important good news sir wo mo a wo ye ntoma companies ye ntoma ene ho keka ho no ebeboa wo mo
zero tax.
Yes. Brand name people for horn. Saturday na can a rollover. Because a rollover, I am MPP for the buy say zero rating in respect of VAT. Or more million to my Ghana no. And KBC 2025 you. 2025 in KBC. But yeah, see okay, there be any sir. Ya pejam dia ko 2028. And the companies here and Toma or Ghana hano. The friend is zero rating or home omo. Ke o di woni mfaso de e wo wie so. Mfaso de e wo so ne etiawa. Sika nko me de betua VAT no, o betimi de awura omo business no. Enti indirectly no a tax rebate and a buy de amom. And kebeso 2025. A buy we see no. Ade a enko 2028. Se ne be ya emo omo businesses na omo so enya sika emfa nhye omo adwumam. Eno so be boa ma enyuma hodo be say 2000 me ka sa companies na ye ntoma ene omo a efa omo adwuma no yetimi abo omo adwuma nyina ye dey ehun ban because the assumption is that a tax ne was ro anhwe ana yentimi amfa nipa dodo was adwuma nim ana omo wom dada mpo no ebi ane amom ye dey ekofie enti de empese me kan se aban no etu anamon a tax no de to obebre yen na asan de sika gu industries ni adwumayefo botom so otu sa anamon na our revenue measures or they support taxes na opese oje because you see say opese oje tax no na oni anamontu a ode gia nya de obetumi age tax no enti kan budget bia so opese oye tax reform or check tax reform no the revenue measures are there atato se na be ya ni nyina be boa no na bibia aye kama o mampanyi John Dramani mama ban se wo mie mu ahwɛ sɛ obi a woso otua to obi a no betua the broni friend compliance enti na minister of finance eka kyerɛ sɛ bibi ti sɛ VAT ni rate no na ni di akiri because edum bi a rate no so determine compliance edum bi a rate bi wo ha awosoro pia nkofo nya dai entua ɛna ɛwɔ fɔm pii nso a sika wa sɛ ɛba no nso no ntimi nya dai ɛmfa mma enti won sɛ edum bi a na akɔyɛ besepa ni koni ha hai ye kɔtase a sɛbe na yɛ tase no nyansɛm ɛyɛ ade aban bɛhwɛ aban bɛ use technology no ɔde ahwɛ sɛ titiri cross border trade wo mo a etu anamo de nyoma akɔ Cote d'Ivoire Burkina ne ho keka ho wo mo to gye no ye betimi de nhyehyɛ foforo ya technology aba betimi aboa ma saa to no ya gye ama sika bi a wo sa aban gye no wotimi agye na wagye ni ye waka tax education any nyoma bebre a eka ho but ke odi ye hwɛ ade we ye very very important one who say me ne o kasa sesi e wo ho sometime around June and Fitch almost okay bra na MPP aba ho ne ye to ye punumu wo aman dwa so say yentimi ma babosia bio yentimi ma bobosia bio ne na kire say ya bobosia ma besia amene ya ma yesikasam ne nankokom ayemre na moment si aban ne o mampanyi jondamani mama ba ye no yesikasam nankokom ayadini bio a so mo de o mani kanchi a yen sikasi di don't keka ho na ho de ne ekosoro enti Fitch for instance omo ayen free the affair risk default that is yesika no yesika bi a enya de agina ne na so yesika basa pa every where the about the affair no B- with the stable outlook say okay yesika sem na ko ye o say
yenimu ye
yenimu ye ye was stable outlook
okay
but abanya ka say enya nu nti na okọ ewiase amansan adwa so akọ bisia bebre you see edu agwagwa na nsidi ye owu ye ntekuma won tena se anyim frama bisia bo na ma MPP fo anim gu ase
na o ye na wa rap up man
hey
bra
bisia bo na ma MPP anim gu ase enti dia aban we ye ne se ye sika ye de no ye nye sika ne basa ye ntem sika nkosi national cathedral ye mfa around $97 million nkotu amna menso to ayema na bibi ti say national service scandal scam more than 2 billion Ghana cedi go fo nwi ani kakra ye benya ne ye hwe se ye di wura ba bi a o se ye dey ye di wura na ye di ayadwuma be boa Ghana fo nyina se ne be ya ye economy ne be gina ho ye na ne nankokoma ye dey ayedi and clearly where ye tax reforms are e ma yen sika e na e revenue measures are ye dey tato all right na ya hwe se ya ye disciplined ya hye ye ho so se baby a say di sika ne fa no ho na mampanyi jondramani mama ne andi si aban di sika ne fa se na be ya di ye yoni mpuntuo ni nkanko bebre Ganafo na Ganafo enya didie wa amanyosemfo mu se ampa ye to abama mo a sika ya de mama no mutimi de eye de enti ubusa me a
sana be kana
ye wo nyina ni na me ogide ma pase propaganda ne ba me se nya kwan asa
ade nya mai oso wa shase ka
no me se ogide se propaganda ne ba me se nya kwan asa ba
amra aye Mr. Amu Ahwansan maba Dr. Keske ho na menti zama
yo me da ba yiri se oman ne ye chichire to oman chichire so de kwan bias no niema ebitin abo oman na sie nyina ehwe na eye na ye ka budget mo asemi niema kakra kra bo ho a be pese me de be kan so ma mkwan a budget na ho na ni nyina yi sika asem no but before e be call no sa number 0548029035 here United Party number over so unyaye you can reach us on that number
if you want to join
054 802
054
802
9035
to be a person over per pastor person only an antibia
shibomu no bra
our fresh number no then we didn't come but very important part because baby a manager MPP ni NDC dey see abere we so muko na ye de abaya wo nje papa so after budget yi kra ni ma bebre a ready on budget yi we say do no they took inspiration from the great transformational plan so what kind of great transformational plan who say
chief commander president
say or the year adwuma to me is good because o man di year nyina be di eti me de me manage ho say enye be ho ahunu mu a ni nyina esi ta se omutimi implementing ye said the great transformational plan kind no a bit me do man akonani nti enye mwanwa se at this time no ubia ana manfo bo mo abaso kakra which to me is not bad na ba ko America ho say me yi makuma recently there's an incident we see Nimos accident we see say Nimos no ma almost budget ye 150 million cedis ho na mesre president no say 150 million cedis no dey am Nimos no say one proper mechanisms engu ho a elibetime tu galamsey na sia says can so ma fa so mo man we bia cause say dua yesi dua nya na say ebewo weni a yetu ase intwa so Alanchemati policy on this environmental ecosystem say you find the BRS ban, restore and support say ya ban galamsey no na say ya nhwene and restore nyema assess and san ya babaka babe ni na say de ye konu ya say we fa hanu ya fa we fa hanu ya fa hanu enkusi hwe ya ka say ban total ban on
mining total ban including large scale and small scale babia
say ya be ya de total ban on those you know. And you know what it's a basa akura wo GSS kura betimi control galamsey because ya banner wo ko kan ya banner wo nko na so no obi ye na se obi de onya e be de na wo aka se on de oye bi enye se de ko sa na ye obi o ha ye se on de onye na baby on de otimi ya de otimi nye nti se wo di se ska we nyina kwa em ya mo ko hwiro mu kan radu fo mu kransi but em ya se ya hwe ya e be boka egu kwa ni ya nya hwe mfiri so with this is our approach here I take it. I don't think it makes I don't see the logic in it unless we all think say this is the time we need to have a total ban. We ban and we restore the Neiman access and then we support. It is as can do come out I share with unfortunately the no yet back one beka afei budget no musuno over the big push we buy on the other things, infrastructure developments, and then there's this road there, express reef, a very laudable idea. But why would the president put Yesi Kenyina, Kakra, Ejijina, Akura sa project, sa road?
So, obey if we invited private partner about the room.
Say, what kind of maintain us? What kind of idea?
Oh, sir.
So I can't say there because
also a partner with private
policy. Page 14 on GTP. You see, you have design and apply innovative project financing model such as BOT and PPP to finance public infrastructure projects and thereby reduce government capital expenditure. So there's a canwa ya jeno. Ya timidi biya ye nkurasi akwa no ya no obi anya interest mu no. Ya ye se nkurasi akwa no ya na be makwa we kura ya popular. Ye na ebe ma ya no so be boa ma inflation kura ba because enu ya no bo be fo say ka timi ko ba bia ye dua bode ne banche ho no easily a driver ni no on timi toto bo no se de ope obi aso betimi akwa kofa bia ba ne ye se ya twa bode na agu kwa ho ka ekwa ne nyenti ka timi kofa kura na egu na apro ana okoduru ho no mo a ebo obebo wo no untimi ebeduru hanan boy den food inflation so na it drive a lot of the inflational nyina nti ya no de mesre se on man and ninko say on fire sika nemom on pe bosia say other local or international na yama omumfa meye na tol na sisuo no omfa nyi omusika either on BOT or PPP na emma ya honte because o ma 3 years old be we kwa me bomb buy bit me because ebebo apa reduce you know by 50 kilometers
Ghana ha.
Oh, say
there be no kwa de menyini.
Ya start say ye betimi encourage enkrofo amoma ya de a ye mu obu
Mr. Amwa, the issue is that who ya there no set a realistic target because omo kwa se baby akwa ne be fa kra na omo ne negotiation ko nya nko so
no baby akwa ne be fa no a lot of bebre no ye forest adan ni ho said
Mr. Amwa ojidi
adan ni ho said I say
okay
adan no won so mutimi ya ebeboa me dem gidi se hwe nkro bebre aye bi ama o mukro
3 years
because say it me 2.5 hours so we go 80 kilometers per hour na 100 kilometers per hour but me 2 hours after Accra bidura and it will be helpful ebe mark ebe yes one ebe twin cities we made enti ese it me boa ko abroche ba bia as an man wo we tool the old person won person betua tool na be fa so a no fa we
dada no so na ko baby
obi anu ni asem tie no message say ho no wo momani ko na mom o momfa o ma private sector mrem na magi tool na yesika kakra won yemfa nye iman because great transformational plan no ideas no de buy no se obehwe no de no ayedwa ebe me atima ye nema easily obetime a quantum leap in a lot of things here obobos no nyina within the shortest possible time dia no yade america then yamra afa ne ba ne awo kan ye so about tax reliefs and tax reforms no hwe se VAT se ene aye adwuma tua VAT ni egi VAT ni ayi no so hwe VAT no na e free bi ayi tax on tax cascading tax on tax because ayi na me hwe back me was this year akoto ade bi 100 cedis otua ayi NHIL ayi 2.5 get fund 2.5 covid 1% na ansa na ada be kan ansa na be give VAT 15 yan na ma come o ya na compounding no na akwa duru 21.9% no it is ye free ho a obi a ho be hare no ye free ho ebe ma calculation go easy because see anu said na enema esi cost ne said the VAT se me esi tete nkrofo no menyini say the best way in there na ye na yeah, well, in COVID is COVID. I will year free no. To me, it's also okay because at the end of the the tia COVID was more moka. The tia guzu tia na sabri year free no. To me, it's very good. Eti you know ya deba kwa biji say why ya ebeboa. Afei adeba ku bi mu a why ne compliance na ebese to me it's very important. So say o se kroma say no nipa bebre fa kwan bia so na it me vedi tax.
The question is how about any because and they say kind informal sector now how will you get them?
Informal sector and digitization e bet me the digitization obi a Ghana card so Ghana card na say Ghana card e de link odwuma wo ya bebi a wo ya e be hu. That's it Ghana card and AI abey. So linking to AI near year. AI board ni. Nansan me call UK ana bank bi ana omuye mi no mu ye din komo no ache asem ba ko pa me kan ya meeting ye no. O ma ro bu bibia no o ma cancel.
Etwatro. I see.
No na ye. It one nya.
Onimu no bia.
No kan bra mo ni we dey ye bo ano. What does it? This is the thing we need. This is the time we need to go there. What does it? Because your uncle are very, very difficult. And I say, any is see it, Mrs. is ekakra. And now leadership by example. Singapore, obi busa president no say e kwan be no fa so a omutimi ko monim sa. 1950 1960 na Ghana you discussing Singapore. Say omo per capita you know 82,000. Ghana dey 2.5 2,500 2,400. Unim obese niam miensa pe na omu yusu ye niam miensa pe na mo gina so abedu die adri. 1 zero tolerance for corruption. Number 2 selflessness. Selflessness, collective interest instead of personal interest. And then number 3 meritocracy.
They're sefata no.
They're sefata. Because Singapore 1991 conference. Now, what can in my country? Was it what to tell you what about you? Tell you to go for ma. What do I say?
5 years.
5 years. I just
yeah.
And now, any pakra one way. Any power one way.
And we had a kohankwa. I see.
I just say Emra ye juma. Satam no kura na krone fe because emra bi pia juma decent o pia din huni. What I say? Ya decide we say nko aba ha. Ka niam e kosu Ghana, we could have saved, we bet me save several billions of dollars here. And he has a work is careful, baby. Also, and then I'm there, you be finance minister can say Ghana $31 billion and every of my with him. Now they are going to deal with banks now or allow those things to go. Obi yet transactional. Or the IDF say me export me import to nema ebia
scan be ko nema
100,000 import creation fund. Na e dey transfer na man. Scan be ko nema number. And I nema the and half. What I say? Sa na ya na nkrofo dey to accounts mu abrochira. Oh. Na no na emine abrandi bi din ko transaction bi na scan board in there so kakra. Oh, first, no, they are committing my energy. I'm sorry. Oh, first, no, yeah. Yeah, Mister, yeah, money, idea. Yeah. The empress, you bet me, I owe money. See, to me, two corruption as in Kwa in domestic budget, Ukrano. Borrowing, yes, because Scour man, except I could do what Nipa Marcum in Binsem. And you know a idea of a boy. You ma quite mass idea no encoso. Now, I think say maybe see right. That's it. I've said
Doc, my member hona meet you.
My member was a mincha a chefo, a native for. But that party penny from Kwasi, Mechia, the former vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the Machia, a Memunia Penny, Dr. Matupoku Prempe. JFK any Odinoko Kwapia, the incoming national regional chairman. Na Nambitie Minia share, do be as I said, National Canmaniaji, it will be as a propaganda. No, I'm about regional communications officer. Media dear he. On a some media definitely be and one would be and no would be now appointments no as a boys no munya appointment, no girls no. A Juma we you know. Those is here shan when you brain when you call a do the then the Akai girls are no to tell Cruiser Muno. The make can say was some mo Debbie and yet Bamin Kamasem. And I mean can tell your mama so you okay some appointment.
And how are silent?
Make us much or moody did Dijao. Uncle when did Dijao make us recast Mamma. Let's be true to ourselves. No can say, and then many are paying your team in here, well, lecture, salary say. Jump, Kajampo, appointment. No, Miss Point, I mean, making it say, Ampa also you're qualified to serve Ghana in that capacity.
Yes. You have the capacity
exactly.
to serve.
It's Omona, social media, I can sort of my so to be. Namian come and say,
we compare more.
Now, my main call and 70 biso. Me focus on our share, but one or two things. Fitch, a report on the buyer or more upgraded Ghana economy. No reasons of 99% of them are based on DDEP arrangement.
Domestic debt.
So, and yes, Mahama buy and baby for. So why they be asking the say here so disingenuous? Obian him say a buying bia bus wofra. The first year no. Especially say oh bana say obi IMF arrangement bi o first year nya na oba be say bibi kese bia o abai be hu mahama na performance somewhere around mid of next year I be wie sa IMF program we why name that is why this budget no more discretionary spending e shey we mu no also omo surplus no ye 1.6 now why name say NDC abai ba so omo more delayed payments. Because based on arrangement any IMF no say a primary surplus no it do 1.5%. Now mo share say o man timi anje taxes no be so much ni na so mo e hold some of this no sa na some books mo e look good e do best school fees so ko chana onye ntua ya
scanning your day
I just want to so
I see
these are basic things and they so your bomb hammers for you no. Now let me deal with issues. Now, I think say there were several issues in the budget, but I mean interest. Budget and about 2 no any money you pay. A revenue and expenditure. Scar obet majeje and scar pese a buying a budget or about 2 we or say scar or pese ɔno gye so obetimi agye nyina no 268 billion Ghana cedis so obetimi agye nyina no but the opese odi eno ye 357 billion, a difference of 89 billion. That's the first issue. And the sense cannot be a banker so person original. What bo home modern crowd? Sometimes there's a shortfall of about 20%. 20% too. It is budget our end for 2025 crowd. Amount they were able to collect no. I know a bit to a thing maybe a bit corner year no. Now I'm number 200 billion. And then we score many bibiano. O just say it took us about 268 musa ha mu be 50 billion bi de untiminje e be ka we hu roughly esa buying finding another way to finance about 140 billion e be siabo so o tell me can say sa be siabo na aban ebo no okay eye o come my job online na there's a story bi o hodoma omo say aban yi e ba afoforo na in the first 7 weeks na besia wabo 59.68 billion Ghana cedis. Ade ba ko ema na yehunie say if say aban e bo besia domestically it means only businesses Mr. Amu na ebeko competition. Obi anso person odi ne besia no ema aban dan so odi private person.
Yeah.
2 years ana o ma businesses e suffocate. And my interest rate e peja ekosoro. That is the first thing. This is also compounded by abina policies bi odi atuja. Sterilization of the economy. What kind of budgets now? A year paragraph 2, I think 284. No, 248. And what's a scale buying no a free system through open markets no? Near 62 billion Ghana cedis. You can say a bank is scale free markets ma. They're saying any. Scale no one call for bottom and community call daily to Tony ma a movie no. A buying far a year open market operation so no actually says can answer Kogu Bank of Ghana. And you tell you say so, and fuel a war are stable, but no taxi driver said in command. Almost in confront time form. Oh, yes, oh, and dollar is stable, but una meduma and confront Tonyama. What do I say? Nina, and also a couple mana increase businesses no cost of production. Well, what produce your toy? Uchanko foka. O personal cost na a pijama. It is a strategy in near. That's definitely businesses a best suffer. It's a number one so kind of budget we are 2025 budget a bind by no kase Ghana economy ni by 4.8%. So this time what budgets now a bind so best spending 50 billion cedis extra. Or per se or young kete or yeah women's bank or per se or yeah or this can because 24-hour economy move or per se or yeah a Greek whatever for economic progress or the 800 million equation. But we na also or didn't have become who economy the benini ako 4.9 next 0.1 per become. So if say we're spending our year in we repeating the same thing. Never mind 4.8. Now we're spending extra 50 billion. Then no 0.1 neighbor. Kwasi Bisani say Sanya Mana also best spending no. What is the real impact of Sanya Mano on the economy? It's all about a Greek whatever for development. Who the 800 million say Greek more. As you in terms of development, as you in terms of growth, GDP, and the big creating human. Now 0.1 the human doesn't be creating. So it tells you that this budgets no, and if figures no, at least won't say there's a bit of disparity. Now let me come to a year. The strategy say well for a year a revenue mobilization. Okay, say 2025 budget. Abra buy no the to abontin say oyi taxes be free ho or say introduce other taxes be. You catch and say what strategy I would be it wasn't going to work. Sit down and rethink it. Omoka so your friend be tax refund. Number to so 6% about 4%. You catch him say the more cano say you a baby any. Cause tax refund if you consolidated fund. We say 6% that is a ceiling. That's the amount to more refund be they can go back to the consolidated fund. And their work and it doesn't even make sense. But we got people like Professor Jampo and others coming and say it makes sense. I'm like, hey, be professor, me lecturing. What you say? And then as it stands no, last Abraham PPA free zone, the tax to GDP ratio no was about 16%. Around to force said by 2025 they're expecting say being 18%. But rather akwakoda about 11% you see. Next Ghana lose you about 5%. So 5% of GDP in terms of tax, you know, our lose no. That's about 50 billion cedis. So 50 billion yes kakeke. And untina there may be a buying car so best spend it on. A buying man spend no. A jumara in their budgets. I'm gonna say somebody 100 million equation. 100 million away. I'm not gonna share here. National apprenticeship program. I'm not gonna share here. Etu she sanima we ya omo ka say omo beye no maintenance this can into maintenance na. What I will tell them they say about this new taxes how we try we do ba no. Make it so omo nya no slowly. When no buy his tea too fast. Because the last time our taxes na so beje no. When timia meet two targets no. When timia meet no, you need to hasten slowly. Now finding other mechanisms are be. So, you per se, you extend the tax nets. I think it's a good idea. The question is the how. Now, I'm so used to AI. I'm like, wow, AI. They collect tax. It's interesting. But I don't know how that is going to work.
So say you don't know.
Oh, that's what
I'll say it doesn't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how it is going to work. Yes, I'm saying.
San Wakano, yeah.
Don't poo it.
Money way.
Me say, what say? Yeah, but be tax nets. Back at times how the AI never dia. Let me see. Me who say how that is going to work. What just say? Because mostly there can be programs I'm obey no, but AI now anyway, I wait to see
let's wait and see.
Exactly. That's what me can say. So what me be my what just say? Me can say e-levy a buy that was part of the ideas. But later, I saw e-levy, then they call Makofa D-levy. Now saying sports bets, muy free or no. Master sports minister so, with the benefit of hindsight, and can say sports bets, you know, betting tax come in. It's in many people sometimes. Oh, I want to bet my kind of ding. But Obama, one will say it is a different ball game. Now, one other thing, so the collectibles are in, can I age you know? On say export earnings SFR in 2025 India. It was because of the artificial management of the dollar. Them are to force in the BOG governor they are promoting imports rather than promoting exports. Because a dollar no artificially a full call 12 days they are called Pompey so far Pompey about $8 billion and they are managing dollar no. And they are going to check it to the sada that's a dollar no active format. The Benny answer and for being imported with breed. Or more exporting, they'll be losing money.
Yeah.
What just say? And I say, a collective, yes, for say the crowd will change now. All this can be bar, over Danis can better than Janis cano. Now say, budgets, a year we know. We say, still now to them, you need certain amounts to fill in. When you some amounts now, then the plan now we are here, me base in the development to Yaba, me base in the development to Yabano. After we are in a day, in a year. Now let me deal with one last thing. And sana maybe on we know. Okay, a bino a plans be yeah 1 million coders program. Teachers that break program. Okada. A great for economic transformation. A Jumara. Don't cast somebody said 37.5 million acquisition. And an NASA apprentice from the 21 million acquisition. To date, Miguso I the first person I benefited from it. Just as that 37.5 million no. Omo de man wine. Omo de yeden. Cause I brought a question to forcing. I brought be reading a mid-term budget. Some a media budget. I can say amount to no I do only you are not spending no. The first reason I buy and list or the buy and say no I was spending this amount on a Jumara national apprenticeship. 1 year down the line, almost like 1 year down the line. Benefits a few more by the way. Yeah, say simple. So that's what 100 million we are all watching him.
Right.
Lastly, and he said this idea of a year loans Minuaka say a buyer and I own call the foreign market. No. But obey local markets, locally no be generate cano through bonds inside the man. Majidi say so no sir obey have private sector no. And private sector no and anchor the economy. This is a passionate appeal so be in Kwandia. A buyer should rethink the financing models. That is why in the course of the campaign period, Bawumia kanima mienu bi, but Ghana for branch as we say that offer, and so a similar thing be in another way. Or say Ghana, you know, and you be na esa buying and a financing. First, there be your taxes a bed general. I feel baby, ya bro so ana 10% pay any to account. It is so per se usikana unya na no so owa kwankra. What you need to do ne say, so making sure say budget be the following year no. Emro 10% of scanner ultimate year the previous year.
Yeah.
That way the bia no and fall on debt.
Yeah.
It means say the money be on so this time government ain't been financing. So my private sector and the financing. For instance, yawo bibi on my goods and services. Bibi on my a projects. I saw this thing very well back in Canada. Brother me masters. Some of the major roads no, they were financed by the banks. And the banks now to see so. The profit at the end of the year, na government so saji. I just tax a few more. No, so I don't must tell music. So we can think of other ways to make sure say certain projects we offload them to the private sector. Ekoma private sector crown activities side dey akosro amomu development side dey akwa faster. Now take government burden, so the burden of monitoring evaluation, the burden of implementation, the burden of staffing ning na be free. And that is how countries are build omuye or management san omuye no. And I think say Ghana be adru no. Enye bibia na aban efato ne ho so. Kwa mi hwe aban budget yo mo kan, no one that say or see development AF GDP no from 4.8% no, 4.9%. After spending 50 billion cedis extra, next 0.1 penny home. It tells you that there's something fundamentally wrong with this budget.
Let's see. Dr. Barnabas Amanfo Ade.
KOD.
Doc.
K.
Mami tiwe. Yeah, reforms na revenue mobilization.
Yeah. KOD, I think say me position on budget there. Nyame anim nie. Me hu obi a obuse wo budget ho a.
Na no hoyo.
Me won. That's a bia na won te Ghana ha. Nese wo hwe Professor Kwasi Butchi na uti kwampe pramo na obiti osafuma afom ne ban redumu a besi na now the opa yenkofa budget yenya na okurum ha na si yasinki di so anke da so te
yentwatwa ne yehu bia
yentwatwa si di so anke da so te ha nti uti ha 2025 na ubo budget hu sa yenya instance ya suma committees on koye adwuma na ne report no it means so the AI actual ne kama ya generate amount ya testi a run party manifesto ye free be similarity index and kwaya manfo faso ye niema no say ye budget and we saw Opako pick 2025 budget 2026 made me education component osho hu se fa na se bam na dia betoa
cut and paste
etimino me die
oni arehim sa
budget me mose wo ho nya arehim na me mose wo ho se budget ya budget na se budget na so bi mada me se budget ben ye ready ne kromada kroma budget ben ani ready bi da match ya iridibi iridibi na ubeka say ye ko hen kuzi sen and for me dear me when it comes to budget they say bon me mobi and me mobi nso da enemre kra enne party meetings ni ade ye chro action minutes ya throw action minutes nti ya ye say I don't am interested etimeno medimani na ebedi akiri you see in 3 years ye beye dear friend expressway
Kumasi Accra expressway
eti eno na yedi
Bachano
ani
de
ebedi achi
nti ho asem.
se ye kosen say in teachers and your lesson plan you say by the end of the lesson and yet at the end nti by any means that your process nti ye kona wo see hu say ampa
Who make you progress?
nti za wo see mfie miensa na wo de ye na afi ye hu hwi a wontimi nka nche me say me see mfie miensa nti wo de atwa mfie miensa dabi
I see.
by the end and yet at the end enti ye de ani ba we no de opese ye hwe revenue mobilization tax reforms for me Cody asoman ye di tax ho nkomo bebria na mehu sa asoman ya ye wre hunu
Sir.
ya what do you want to countries bebria enyi o de opa yen listed resources a odoman koma de che yen and you be tell no ka say UK e bia omutu a taxes o de wo no UK wo bi oni bi ti yan ya ye wre hunu gold bauxite manganese diamond afedi nyankopon chese wa mre yen yo sadi oil abekan yo oil idi ade ye engina achi na no so wa lithium san wa kire baby e hye nsan kofa enso yesi dey bi yentumi agese ye tax tax no ya ka ye nyina ye gitum tax ne de ye o mine tax ne de ye o mine enti adwene nyina koye te se gise tax ne betim de aye o mine na niema hodo aye woni de yentumi mfanye ne de ho compare Cody me catch us say me nya sure say ordinary Ghanaian ka tax tu aye ne ya
Sir.
but me Ghana upati me ye Ghana ye how nye sources of revenue
But
spend how outlets no and a year how
ye kwan first register. Dem kwan diska no.
E kwan diska no ye how nyina no no enti biase ye ni no ehwe ehe ne benya sika ya fi ye ni ye pesika wo ha ye pesika wo benkum ni fan left center right en sika no nya ba me wo fa bi wo se ene ne we e wa hoɔden na wanya ne de e kyena nso wa hoɔden a ɔno nso nkɔpɛ ne de asa unyeska na wodi na mena namba ako se ei unyeska eje bi wo se o ene ne we e wa hoɔden na wanya ne de
Ocha so pa hoɔden.
kyena nso wa hoɔden a ɔno nso nkɔpɛ ne de
Te ba obedi.
e ba obi
Ghana lifestyle.
yeah lifestyle no your lifestyle eno no na sika scandals and one go the ya wo see free here.
Sometimes I wonder say why na your budget man bro your revenue no expenditure na ya na your man bro your revenue benya no so
and Keskin can and that is no kwasem no nti na me say asem will be kan kohwe your budget and your documents no these are archives e wo ho opa kohwe near fan deficit your revenue mobilization de bia obuhun say yeah for short your shortfalls and the spending yeah the hu an say yes ensuo yira fa obi mu han kan budget no betem ska ko the han say yes we ye betem ska ye and this budget me say after bosomi and say ya appropriation we ya to nchen that has been your style Wukruma. So no, and I style Wukruma. And for me, as of mine, menya and dependency on tax no. So kwa tax be bria economy non so ebre because production manufacturing. Inti I think say this current minister an idea koye say yen relieve amount of taxes no na ebia produce so it means that on be nipa nti ebema adwuma sem any ade but honestly Ghanaian mentality Ghanaian attitude mekai pa Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo tete taxi bi ni ade twim bi ye huni impact amanfo obeje nti aban no na Minister of Finance say oh ye tete we so yiwe do some 3.11 million ebe bag Ghana for botom Ghana for beya
the ordinary Ghanaian
no Ghana for beya enti ubisa ho say ye disciplined enough Keodinka ye etimi ye disciplined enough ana ye je tax no ana ye de be ye adwuma be ye manso kwan e de be ye anwan kwanta kwan e de asi manso patase school market ama ordinary people na enjoy ya between no ene say ye say me mo Mr. Amo Diana say ye jaya ma omumfa anka obe anticipate say ye jai sa 3.11 million 5.7 billion no abegu omubutum no ankomo nso
spread it
ebia niam anka wo ya ema wo niam abo kosoro no anka obete so
edu wana aka omubutum
enti akoye bibia ho again ka ban na idea said the maker no wo tete saa niema we nyina so no nanka ama omanfo no ho ahenhan wo mo but enye saa ne be again KOD ye be san bisi achi as most of the taxes na kakra na yesi ye afiri ho reforms no nyina kakra na wo hwa abeye na ye political campaign intimide bia meka in administration your friend taking the box ye ka se ebeye say yaye inti si eka se ebeyi covid 19 yeyi si eka se yi levy ye ba ebeyi yeyi ye ka se betting winnings on betting ye ka se ebeyi yeyi
so omo antrasen hwe whether the implications are because
you
kind into no
yes ebeye nti yaye nti your friend taking the box nti no a check it nti checked Ikrum hasana akoye sana akoye enti because we share some of the taxes na abaya wo projects we share me sector education so we so be double track we share the budget
of money
na fe wo se wo kateka KOD Mr. Amweni wo mo se ba business ko hwe budget ya ready a Minister of Finance anka say ye be expand tax net sa this freeze ko ha budget
if you say many Freddy they be am to budget be am
ko ha budget ya ready a Minister of Finance also wanka say ye be expanded tax net days of violence enti ho twitwa we ye free ho me say besan back to us opa KOD metu anim ha ene da ben 23rd November enkosi next year sabre ni nyina etiase na saban we introduce tax for 22nd me say yema ye hu
enkosi next year
sabre na saban we introduce tax for
yes ye hu
ai
mate
ensi
okay
ono na wase mayi we yafiri ho mayi mese aban ni ntumi or the tax for beba intinene Kwasi beko no nkoye akapoma okona nimba akon no aba na chimiensa eya Ghana aban aba de atwam de beba da chese ye ntimi ensua emfiri sa na ema we hu na ye movie on yes ye be ye populous yes ye be yi we nti ye yes ye be ye say nti ya man because your resources ya mebubo din am fa ya nkosi hwe nti ka gradually ka Ghana for tiase e be complainia but once ya be ye used to ye tua yes ye free ho yes ye twa we mu na ye ready but in the end no yes and the hwan tax aba yes and the hwan aba ye be san fa haji abra ye hu enti KOD me de I think say the maka no me yi nyina on budget me heli budget so onim de a friend budget yen heli budget
Alright.
so utie krum ha no wa follow your trend pattern yen heli budget.
Okay. Dr. Barnabas Amanfo and out in Kano. Say Honorable Ashai at Trotron Papers baby, but I mean can message me baho that for some so definitely who wants to be obi yano or honum. So baby. So good evening, Kyori. I'm Isaac from Takwa. Mahama and his party guys think that all Ghanaians are gullible. Prior to the 2024 general elections, Mahama dishonestly said that when he comes to power, all the illegal miners who had been apprehended and incarcerated will be given amnesty. The last time I listened to Mahama, he said since he came to power, more than 1,500 illegal miners have been jailed. May I know from Mahama if all the guys they have arrested are Galamsey kingpins, as he said in opposition, just to bamboozle some Ghanaians for votes. Okay, that's it for your message, Adia Brain. Good evening, Kyode. Please tell Kwasi Kwarteng that everyone who was part of the Addo Akufo-Addo government or administration is part of the MPP's defeat in 2028, including him. He was a spokesperson for the Ministry of Education. Honorable Vincent Asifwa was a spokesperson and defended the sector so well to let Addo Akufo-Addo win in his second term. Ken couldn't save his seat for MPP, therefore he's a failure. They should do clean campaign because delegates are much more discerning. His candidate should humbly accept the defeat in January 31st and join Dr. Bawumia to win the general elections. Okay, yeah, that's it. One for Dean Amma. Thank you very much. Good evening, Kyode. Let me pick this one. Said, good evening, Kyode. Kennedy insulted MPP party that we are also don't know how he joins MPP party and how can this network and need to make kind. Good evening, please. All the contestants are no match for Dr. Bawumia in this flag bearership contest. The sole leading person is Dr. Bawumia and is the only candidate every well-meaning sympathizer of MPP wants. Kwame Ewotakwa and Oduwe Abraham. Good evening, Kyode. Solomon Jagri from Kunsu say, we are now experiencing better Ghana. I now get to know the reason why Ghanaians gave the MPP 38.2% and Yano Krama 41%. Nana Addo and Bawumia came to build their party, not Ghana. That is why Nana Addo, was telling some constituencies that they did not vote for him, so he will not give them their share of the national cake. KOD, MPP is the party builders, and NDC is the nation builders. Okay, yeah, that's it. Solomon Jagri, dear no. Benji when Fences Seria, as you watching live from Fences Seria, Sunyani Road. Greetings to Honorable Wisdom of Saibuama. Truth must be told, and this is the best for Ghana and also Ghana's hope. All right, yeah, that's it. Kyode, can a Japan's man in your studios was completely confused. How could he say pragmatic without good ideas? Ola agona ena odi we abraying we say Ike Ewo at Tebubu. I say good evening, Kyode. In fact, I'm really disappointed in Kennedy Japan's communicator in your studio. If he's talking about insult from Abronya, then he should first advise his boss, Kennedy Japan, because when it comes to insult, Kennedy Japan has insulted all elders in this country. Bawumia, the Odyssey and okay, yeah, that's it. That's the end of your message. Good evening, Kyode. Kindly ask the NDC man for me that how much has the NDC government borrowed from the Bank of Ghana since January to date? Also, how many taxes have the NDC brought after taking MPP's taxes away from Wachansa, Kenya, Samai, Nodui, Abraham, Asante, the Sikodi, Menio Mampeni, Enyagene, say we a tour ne. Nawasane atete eto no biso da efri say Ghana edwadifo enye won anya wadwene say opete otete enyoma so da enti mfaso biere eni so say obeyi ama ana obetete eto no so. Okay, yada say asante de ede eno no mempiki be tupe na fe yemra we. As good evening, Kyode. My name is Mr. Andy Oforidako from Eastern Region, Abonse. Please ask President Mahama for me. Did he pay utilities and house rent? We are suffering in Ghana. Dumso is back. Okay. And also Eddie, I don't know. Golden Boy and us from my point. Good evening, KOD. Actually, Ghanaians are very enjoying the NDC government. You see, the economy is very good. Businesses are booming, and inflation is also good. This is the first time Ghana has a single digit in terms of impactual war. No dear. So the MPP candidates and their so-called serial killers should stop talking and shut up and let John Mahama move Ghana forward. And also at the last one, na Memra Studios. We as good evening, Kyodi, whoever MPP will bring as flag bearer, and this will win massively in 2028 election because President Mahama is performing extremely well. Mr. Katz Achuma Nrebehi Ena Odiwe Abraham. Honorable Ambrose.
Yodi.
Meaning say maybe 1 minute pay.
Oh.
Aye.
Ade what time yana?
Men town. Mere my town. So me know. Mere my town.
Yodi.
But for the time in try.
Madam ya yare to person ma I say you VAT reform, tax reform, and different revenue measures. And I want to manu a casking now to Brumusa. And I want to manu to Brumusa.
I saw we obviously over
Oh, Debbie. On say, send yes, I didn't engage. No.
Also, budget.
I mean, sorry. Oh, no. Me say on my
tax can now wait imagine. No. And it's kind of starting from the shortfall, cabinet demono. And how to even finance
Debbie. So me person me can say we say ye meheli Dr. Barnabas ye ma ha meheli budget. Or maybe we are CBI budget. Or maybe a budget. Me matena Europe da. Or maybe a budget. Enti budget the enya di or maybe abeye. And now ye budget and say the woman nyina na obetimi aye. Ade ba ko say nyina yete ase. Enye nnan ne be budget, ye be budget ya. E kire ye kwan. But you see ate ase me pese no na tiefo nyina na obi a ete ase. You see Kesken. Wo see NDC aban no ba power first no. Within 7 weeks, no borrow 59 billion Ghana cedis. Sasa mo buy ma ya no but him say when you propaganda hunte fa na pesa say no I'm not saying I'm challenging that evidence. No. You see that story we buy na catch there will say engofo ato treasury bills MPP time 59 billion Ghana cedis ni nyina no na mre na so se wo se aban tuama wo na omu rolling it back ya. You can't call it a new borrowing. The same figure. The same figure. What treasury bill? We're rolling back. I come from where they are brand. I don't know because sa treasury bill ni sika aban no aboru a new borrowing. Ebio, what say your friend say face. Wo mo rate on the buy is because of the DDP. Again, I no correct. No. No. Now we can report na ma better. Dabi. You see, domestic debt exchange. KOD. I don't say omode be say boy na ache. The can say be say nke betua ni na ye pia kwa kire say mire we
but my name so the Bank of Ghana governor, Dr. Siama. He made reference to the DDP. No say no can be. No, and Anna,
you see, wait, Mammy Chichi. I can't DDP can or why I can't betua and panche. The key reason, or can a whole lot of things. Yeah. But the key reason amongst what he said, he say, see the Nanko Komaya because he did the whole year. I brought dollar by 29%. Yeah. Dollar now more than a conform city no a costro. Enti a car, ye data. Kiabesi sensi de akọ $2 na yakọ tuano. Sa how na free as ntimi ne o say over here. Ye debt to GDP. A move from 61% bra ye buy na about 45% because city no appreciate it. Because ye ka tuano in dollars. It is the key reason why your credit rating e costro because ye ka ye de no. Eswati because city na ho de no costro. And not entirely because of the domestic debt because I can enye dey ebetua. Say the 100 years you cry near Pia Quetra, go the betua. At one point, I want to make clearly say, Yentiano, the betua, there's so at this particular moment. No. That's what we're talking about. No, but I can't impono. They are in dollars. And especially those are any creditor countries are range.
Okay.
Don't we think say can I dollars no? See the now what the cost runti dollar component na ba form. Amma ye can so ati. Me no ga say ye national debt na is 632 billion Ghana cedis. Away from 750 billion Ghana cedis.
What of time na maka no so rem kakra.
Na kes kan san ka kire o twa ntro a kire ye nyina. O de ma me reduce ntro mpo.
O tro de okwe
o de o mi nya mpo. Mi
nya ntro akura ntro de okwe.
Say o ka kire say ye tax to GDP about 11% by 2025 when in fact 16.8%. Because 16.8. Yes, 16.8 you can check. The budget said it. You can check. So what I say, and the point I want to make is this. Mo budget ya mo ye and no na Ghana for here o me de to abadi tia mo amokoye. Mo free power. Afekura nya mai. Mbacho say dem make what I say. And nya na mo be kire say mo wo bibi pepe bi anga wo say mo ye dem mo ye. Me last issue ke odi me pacho. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça on tia say expect a revenue of 302 billion Ghana cedis. Na ye revenue 268 billion Ghana cedis. Na expenditure 302 billion Ghana cedis. Na shortfall bi o. No. I'm talking about the negation of the figures.
Okay.
Shortfall bi o why no o say ye bob sin ato aso. E dey na enwa fa tibia sa ho. O pa on kan omo 2024 budget omo de buy. Mo project say mo expenditure by 226 billion Ghana cedis. Na man revenue 176 billion Ghana cedis. Shortfall in cash na mo ko fa free hin.
The same thing I'm count has say me ba Ghana hanum. De bia ye budget. Your expenditure no exceeds revenue.
No. So na people say okotan he ba me man want to pick example say yen NDC for yen tisa.
All right.
The American say me ba. The American say in 2025 your budget yen say until me can define your primary balance. A key indicator in how much we spend and how much we get. Say yeah ka say nke ya dey na be 1.5 positive. If you say be 1.6. Move free power number negative 3.5. And will be our Ghana sika so ye tinitini sika no. This enya MPP.
Thank you very much. Dr. Kexon, I'm too. Na after we are. I'm running to enter in the next topic in the so yeah.
Debt na se for. Me fa ne say odeka $20 billion.
This is in respect of
the role of
me mama come and say what they cut $20 billion. What they cut in dollar terms $20 billion. Now we see the why there. Until $20 billion so.
This is in respect of let me answer. Very economics in the AE. Don't be so vague. Explain this one.
You have the platform.
Me say Ghana a cow, you know. A can $20 billion, for instance.
What can I say that?
Just now, okay. What's it Ghana? Currency now eye strong. It's a man your debt is what. Let me ask a question. Say, what the car in dollar terms $20 billion? That's a $20 billion no. And the car would day and for. Okay, would day. Na say see the why there and until $20 billion is one. Me but to say asia oh to say good oh asia dey it me say to nipa na wo de kano e kan wo de na sa kana na wo de but oba the nominal terms so back within all balance one never say the amount abesesa when you home so
yeah
isn't that the point it's the other man who can say dollar terms a cow this what
as a man I can say
oh question bisa want me say tini you can say tini me say oh they make $20 billion I know so they make $20 billion locally and I will see can why dey when you home for so what you say because over says car crazy
and they are for $20
how can I would dem in sign
I think national debt in
the issue is that you're all on the same page. The issue is that who seek locally no and no nyam for so
but make can I would dem sign
what was I saying
on the same platform on the same
let me deal with other matters let me deal with other matters let me deal with other matters me say
honorable please
that's what I said me say make kasano me say o share gap a desk wo project so bit magigi any scanner wo pese wo di ni mu a budget rate say difference about 89 billion. And the scanner they be out in the car. It means mostly on average. Oh, you can say. Obian can say it has not always been like that. Yami can say, Esan can you expect new ideas. What am I more research Ghana? And I'm saying the way I some of more financing, and I even made reference to Assembia of Accra can from Omot Adeno. Any Asema Bawumia so can you're not learning anything new. The other course na obeto. And that is the case you are making say, oh, sad the bia. One other thing. Oh, me pacho. One other thing. When him say your quality was saying and say your resources. And I don't correct can say your resources no. Okay, when him say lithium this year. Lithium arrangement deal na Ghana royalties only at 10%. And this for bab so say there be 10% there be ya so change Ghana. Or buy your makwa so royalties no so about 5%. Say no nyansa wumpa. Or reason no money say lithium prices are falling on the world market. Na me be so mo say otsena. Say lithium prices are peja. O me say agreement no for na.
Why can't you always negotiate?
No, you can't. You can't.
Oh,
you can't. Oh, top. Say if it is always amenable. After this someone can say the Saudi you peja price.
Oh, it is linked to the world market price.
David,
what kind of
David, let me say royalties. Royalties. What percentage na do royalties? Say Anglo Gold. Ghana royalties. Me pato Ghana. Tobo. Ghana gold. Mutonyi Anglo Gold. Say Ghana percentage. Gold ebo kosora. Yes, price. Yes, a percentage. No. Go about for man. Yes. When was the last time? I said that person can. Who do you sign a deal? Not you look out proof for 50 years. You say, I'm not saying no, boy, no. It's a bad deal.
That's it. Doc, I'm to answer my Samuel Yaman. Doc, I'm to you.
Yeah, faka about the Yinama politicians. Yeah, I'm a minister. I'm can be
Yanko. Love too.
Hey, Sasha, you can't be my
Love too.
I command the annual 18. Second, India also intimate to us.
So, but you have comment. No problem.
I think a very brief saying. You will be a friend of discourse legitimization. We will pursue a test or man for a posa. Bones on within Samna Beto public domain, no more share man for nudging. For me, President Mahama, so done was soon yet. Na a Jenny be and I say Diane Muno. Yaya say or Yaya say on for another term on Tinany. I'm telling you. And it's in Anna making it in Comodiano. Cosono. A Comodia
obviously a better tested law. We are talking about law here. Also a better tested law. But Yatina Ghana will be a castle could be our could be. Yes, it's in America, a friend of discourse legitimization. Ubun say, Yadi Atum, nay, yes, sir, nay, to a man for and the American say, what done was Sunday, but the politician, Doctor Casa. Never be any say, oh, yeah, I do Yenya, Jimmy, when you're ono ankasantene na onye honorable just allow him ayamo nipa na kofa bayo ayamo nipa na kofa we would die John mama ni ko jodu asare man o kan se ma ejidi anyway we are in Ghana we are this now